Assuming that silver has averaged $80 per ounce over the past 150 years and that gold is currently selling for $33.75, up $20 per ounce, then dividing that number by 42, we get $80 per ounce. Gold is coming out of the earth at $482 if you split the same price of 33.75 by 7. Some might respond, yeah, right, BS, if you awoke tomorrow to find that silver was $482. The current price movement of silver should be evaluated in light of its overall market performance and its correlation with other precious metals, especially gold. The third test of this key threshold in 50 years will occur when silver reaches $50. This astounding technical advancement suggests a significant long-term bottom has been formed. This prolonged period of compression indicates that once resistance is finally broken, there may be a potentially explosive upside. According to Andy Schectman, a seasoned precious metals dealer and CEO of Miles Franklin, silver is significantly underpriced, with a price of $480 being appropriate given the geological 7-to-1 ratio of gold to silver. Silver, in his opinion, has a low probability of going negative and a huge potential for going up, perhaps more than any other asset. Silver was the trade of a generation, according to Schectman, who bases his claim on fundamental analysis and points to record-breaking COMEX deliveries in May as evidence of huge accumulation by big money players. Regarding China's aggressive silver strategy, which entails purchasing raw silver and processing it at home to hide its actual quantities, he cites Eric Yang. China, the world's number 2 producer, is avoiding international markets. Silver futures activity in the first quarter of 2025 was 18% driven by Chinese investors, demonstrating their strong speculative demand. This demand has greatly impacted recent price swings. When market mood or macroeconomic factors change, these money flows might abruptly change direction. In his analysis of the market, Schectman contends that the use of leveraged futures keeps silver prices artificially low because the amount of trading far exceeds the amount of physical supply. There are 290 million ounces available, yet 2.9 billion ounces change hands every day in London. The manipulation of precious metals markets has led to legal repercussions for numerous large financial firms, including JP Morgan and Deutsche Bank, play a significant role in the proceedings. Concerning silver, Schectman stresses that the BRICS countries are taking advantage of suppressed paper prices to accumulate physical supplies. According to Schectman, China is taking steps toward de-dollarization by purchasing precious metals like gold and silver with its surplus of US dollars, rather than treasuries. Make sure you subscribe and push the bell icon so you never miss a moment when truth meets market before we get into Andy Schectman's keen insights from his latest interview. Now let's begin. I believe there are many individuals at a higher level than you and me. One example would be the extremely wealthy individuals who just bought more silver on the May contract than COMEX has ever received. I found it difficult to say. The person or people responsible for importing this silver have just made the biggest delivery in COMEX history for the May contract. By the way, it's the same thing in gold. But what we're witnessing is China grabbing whatever it can get its hands on, and they're doing it with an eye toward the future, purchasing it for their country. The man behind it is Eric Yang. And they rank second globally for both and silver production. Plus, they're flying all over South America to disintermediate the market by purchasing ore and concentrate from miners in Latin America. Imagine a scenario where the world's number 2 producer is secretly flying around Latin America, acquiring raw silver from miners, paying twice as much as the West does, then transporting it back to China to refine. This way, no one in the market knows how much they're buying. Russia, for one, has come out and announced that they intend to add it to their strategic arsenal. First, there's India, which has purchased more than 900 million ounces throughout the past 5 years. That exceeds the combined output of the COMEX and the LBMA. And now, out of nowhere, these enormous shipments are flooding the COMEX market in the US. I can't believe what's occurring. Additionally, the price is being restrained by levered futures contracts, with a 290 million ounce float in London. However, they deal 2.9 billion ounces daily, which is 10 times the float and 3.5 times the yearly world mine supply. The paper price has remained low. The necessity for silver and high-tech weapons, as well as the military-industrial complex, have already been discussed. It seems to me that there's more going on than what we're being told when these kinds of deliveries occur in the COMEX. There has been a cup and handle formation for about 20 years, according to its technological pattern, and at $35, you're essentially in the bowl, at the very edge of it, before it explodes, just like gold has. Yes, we are nearby. That doesn't imply it's happening just yet. More powerful than I care to accept is the cartel responsible for maintaining the low paper price for an extremely long period. However, for many of these businesses, being short in this market is both foolish and potentially fatal. As a result, I am unaware of anything else that provides an unbalanced risk-reward profile like silver. I don't see any major drawbacks, at least not compared to anything else you may attempt to invest in. Positively speaking, it's probably the best option. Even if we only use the suppressed 150-year price average or the 42-to-1 ratio, which accounts for the fact that gold is now being extracted from the earth at a rate of 7-to-1, we would still have 1 ounce of gold for every 7 ounces of silver. It was 16-to-1 for 5,000 years ago. Its supply is now running low. The score is 7-to-1. Having said that, due to the importance of both gold and silver in Western industry, the average over the past century or more has been around 42-to-1. Therefore, at the current price of $33.75, up $20 today, and dividing it by 42, 1 ounce of silver should be $80. The average price for the past 150 years would be that. The price of gold at the moment is $482, which is the result of dividing the current price of $33.75 by 7. Some might respond, yeah, right, BS, if you awoke tomorrow to find that silver was $482. That is the ratio of geology. Please inquire with Keith Neumeyer if you have the opportunity to speak with him. I consider him a friend. On your show, he will publicly announce that it will be released from the ground at 7-to-1. At First Majestic, he serves as CEO. Every time we talk, he repeats that to me. We are significantly undervalued, somewhere between the 7-to-1 and the historically low ratios of 16-to-1 or 42-to-1 since the Industrial Revolution. The world's wealthiest individuals are going to extraordinary efforts to acquire, disintermediate, repatriate, and stand for delivery of this asset because it is so valuable. Such items have never been seen by us before. To achieve this, however, they are stifling competition in the paper sector. In my opinion, this is a generational transaction. Additionally, exchanging your gold for silver is a great way to clean up in a speculative trade, and it's particularly suitable for an IRA. Is an IRA the best option? Reason being, it does not include taxes. There will be no taxes due on those deals. Silver goes from 100-to-1, the price you paid for it, to 42-to-1, the average for the past 150 years. It's more than twice that. If it approaches its geologic ratios, according to Big Swear and others, it will be 11 times cheaper than silver. That is the result of long-term market suppression, by the way. Now, however, the nations that are resisting Western influence are well-organized, driven, educated, rich, and aware of our strategies. I believe they are playing the long game by standing for delivery as a means to bolster their future undertakings by utilizing both their trade imbalances and the currency. The irony is that countries like China are making a concerted effort to divert their surplus cash from the treasury and into the purchase of precious metals like gold and silver. The Chinese government has even gone so far as to expand the import restrictions for banks. Someone with knowledge of the PBOC's inner workings has informed us that last month we increased our gold import quotas and instructed the banks to use US dollars to purchase these precious metals. We even told them to buy US dollars on the open market and then invest in gold and silver, which would weaken the yuan, their goal, and strengthen the dollar, their least desire. The value of the gold they've been purchasing will rise because they'll use those dollars to buy more gold. This is thus quite significant. Yes, it is. We've kept the price low for too long for too many reasons, and now the BRICS countries and the rest of the globe are taking advantage of our position by refusing to stand for delivery. This is a major deal. This is exactly what King Kong, played by Eric Young, has to say. Incredibly intelligent. The Chinese, he claims, are now complicit in this oppression as well. Similar to the West, they are utilizing it to denote the arrival of everything that is not yet fixed. They have a long-term strategy. While Americans consider their investments in terms of hours and days, our Chinese and other international counterparts are thinking years ahead. And just as on COMEX, they are positioning themselves to take advantage of the Western pricing system's final days and hours to drive down the price of paper before they stand ready to deliver. Who among us has $8 billion to wait for gold to be delivered? Who, by the way, is importing the most silver ever traded at the COMEX? When asked about the practice of some dealers charging exorbitant premiums for specialty coins while also preventing their customers from selling, Andy Schectman cites Colleen's Substack in the discussion. Vendors fall into this trap. Current trends indicate that physical custody of metals in an LLC IRA could result in penalties from the IRS. Hence, Schectman strongly cautions against it. Fully segregated storage is not always the best option, he says. The value of allocated storage pools is at danger since they frequently return generic bars. Choosing the proper place and method to keep your gold is equally crucial as purchasing the correct kind of gold. You can't keep the gold for yourself because of the IRS. That rules out hiding it in a home safe or burying it in the yard. An authorized third-party custodian is a business that manages secure storage in a facility that satisfies IRS regulations. They are the only ones qualified to hold your precious metals. If you're looking to diversify your portfolio and explore different investing opportunities, gold can be a minor part of it. Consider beginning with a small allotment if you are uncertain. Many alternative investors keep commodities like gold to no more than 5 or 10% of their whole portfolio value. Now we may return to the interview. One way that dishonest metals merchants make a living is by dealing in coins. Precious metal dealers all add a markup to the metal's spot price before selling it to customers. Plus, it's usually just a few percent higher than the current price that day, not twice or even 3 times.